Mom says Grandpa was a champion racer. He won regionals when he was 9, state championship when he was 12, and nationals when he was 15. And then he stopped running. Today, Grandpa lives with us, and we take care of him. He says he is falling to bits. Little pieces stop working each day, and his brain's made of scrambled eggs. But recently, I'm more worried about Mother, who stopped eating and threw up in the kitchen sink and in the bathroom and in the car. I was pretty sure she had a deadly disease and would die and have to be all alone with Father and have to run, but to come back. Thump, 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 thump. But Mom did not die. She did not have a deadly disease. Instead, she had a baby growing inside of her, little tiny cells multiplying every second. Running is what 12-year-old Annie loves to do. When she's running, she can hear her heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. It makes sense in a year that's shifting. Her mother's pregnant and her grandpa is slowly slipping away. In short, everything's changing. Heartbeat by Sharon Creech. At the birthing center, I sit in the blue bed. In one moment, I feel alone and apart. No longer my mother's only child, no longer the center of her world. In the next moment, I feel completely bound to my mother, as if I'm her and she's me, and I feel like bawling like a baby. Breathe in, breathe out. Relax your brow. I think of all the mothers, all over the world, and all of the babies, and I was one of those babies. And this is my mother. And maybe this will be me one day. Breathe in, breathe out. The assistant enters and checks the baby's heart rate. And there's a new emergency now. As the midwife says, I want you to push now. I want you to push very strongly now. We have to get this baby out now. And I feel like everything's crumbling. But we must give calm to my mother. So we mop her brow and grip her hand and tell her she's doing great and the baby's coming. And push now! The midwife's face is sober, serious. Her hands work rapidly, her voice tight, saying something about the shoulders and something about pushing. But my mother seems not to hear, so I have to speak loudly to her. Push now! And just like that, in a sudden rush, into the midwife's gloved hands, the baby's out. And the next instant, the baby's lying there on the blue sheet. The baby's not moving. Father and I stare at the baby, grayish and motionless. We avert our eyes and turn to my mother, whose face is full of expectancy. The baby's out! I say, trying to sound more hopeful than I feel. I feel as if I have to will the baby to live. Live, breathe. The midwife and the assistant work rapidly, clearing the baby's nose and mouth, and I'm thinking, how can the baby not be alive when it was moving and its heart was beating just minutes ago? How can it not all end with a living, breathing baby? How could we bear it? The midwife says, just a couple puffs of oxygen is all we need. Her voice sounds strained. I see the oxygen tube and hear a soft noise. Pff, pff, as the air goes into the baby. I turn to my mother, not wanting to betray my fear, but needing to see her face. And as I do, I hear a sharp wail. And there's the baby, squirming and crying and breathing. Everyone bursts into tears. Mother, father, me, and midwife. It's only then the father and I look at the baby again to see whether it's a boy or girl. Father proudly pronounces to mother, they have a son, and I have a brother. The midwife lifts the baby onto my mother's chest, and she's laughing and crying, and I cannot take my eyes off the baby, whose own eyes are open, gazing directly into my mother's eyes. The baby has perfect hands and feet and fingers and toes and ears and eyes and nose. It's a miracle, an astonishing miracle. This is my brother. This is Joey. The baby's gonna share my room. It's a small room, but a cribble fit. I'm just glad that the baby will be with me. Grandpa says that the baby should have his room, that he should just kick the bucket to make room for the baby. Mother tells Grandpa it is not allowed. The baby needs to see his grandpa. And sometimes Grandpa forgets about the baby. I go out running, thump thump, thump thump, in the air and in the wind and under the autumn sun. And I think about Grandpa and how must it feel not to be able to run anymore. When I return, Grandpa's lying on his bed with the baby asleep on his chest, the two of them curled together peacefully. I lie beside them, sneaking one arm over them, making sure that they're breathing. Thump thump, thump thump. I feel infinitely happy that this miracle baby has come to us, and sad that Grandpa doesn't have a whole long life ahead of him.